Do you know that the market don't move because of your fancy trend line or your fancy indicator or whatever you put on the chart to, that you think affects price? Or some people even say, oh, the moon or whatever. There's a lot of things people project on the market for reasons why the market do what it does. But at the end of the day, it still boils down to the fact that the reason why price goes from £10 to £15 is because of the interactions between buyers and sellers in the market. And the same thing applies to the Forex market. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you through what demand and supply zones means, how to identify demand and supply zones to know how to participate in the market. Because if you know a demand zone, if you know how to identify demand zones, and you know how to identify supply zones, it basically means you know how to identify when it is time for buyers to take charge and when it is time for sellers to dominate the market. I also went on Google here to quickly ask it a question so we can just quickly talk about it. What is demand and supply in trading? It says supply and demand is in trading is a core economic principles dictating price where high demand and low supply pushes price up, like a new phone with limited stock, while high supply and low demand pushes price down. So traders use price action to identify zones on charts where large institutional orders created an imbalance, a strong rally or a strong drop. So you know why prices move basically is just the imbalance between buyers and supply. So let's say if the buyers are more, then it will tick a balance between the buyers available in the market and the sellers selling their stock to quickly jump on the buy. So it makes more rally to the demand that the buys, and vice versa if people are trying to sell off a stock when there's a bad news. The amount of people selling increases the momentum of this, of price delivering you a TP or price going down or going up basically. So, but now identifying those price points in the market, identifying those demand zones in the market, identifying those supply zones, how to mark up those zones, how to identify those, how to see those zones is one of the most challenging thing in the market. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining, exposing how I see the market, how I mark up those zones in preparation for a new trading day or a new trading week or whatever I do on a trading day. Yeah, so let's quickly use GBPUSD. I'm using GBPUSD because it's one of the most busy markets as a currency and in the currency pair. So quickly, I've been able to just from sitting here, I've been able to quickly identify that this zone here served as a demand zone. No, this zone here served as a demand zone in the past in October 2023. So we have buyers here sitting. We have people who have interacted here, and as soon as price came back here now, if we clone this, we have people that have participated here. Some people that have participated here are here and they're interested in buying price from this particular price point. We have this price point at 21,440 within this zone, within this area, because it's not a price point, it's a zone. That's why when you mark up your zone correctly, you're able to see the market what it's doing. You can see as price tapped this zone, this place is termed a demand zone, a demand area, a support zone. Whatever you want to call it, that is what it means. It means basically that buyers are here interacting. So if we go back to this definition by Google, we have the imbalance. So on this particular point, you can see that we have the imbalance between the sellers. The sellers are coming. There's an imbalance. You can see we have a doji here. There's an imbalance between the sellers and the buyers. So we have more buyers ready, to rally price up. You can see as price tapped this level, price just rallied. Well done, guys. If you have been able to get to this point of the video, I want to say thank you for watching the video. Thank you for being part of this community. And I'd like you to do just one more thing. Just click on the subscribe button like right now. Thank you very much. Please go and watch a video. Bye. This way all the way to the top because we have more buyers in the market than sellers. So that's the imbalance. So let's go and find a another reason another way you can see this clearly is when you use your line chart. So remember to always turn on your line chart. You can see how price came very, very close to this level. Now go back to your candlestick. You can now see how this zone interacting here is a clear demand zone, a support zone, a demand area where we have more buyers sitting, where we have more momentum for the buyers, where we have the imbalance shifting from the sellers to the buyers basically. Now also we have here, right here, we have a support zone here, we have a supply zone here. At this particular price point, at this particular area, in this particular time, this was far back in 2022, price interacted twice here and could make this zone a supply zone. So as price came to this particular area, we have more sellers dominating the buyers in this market, making that imbalance, creating that imbalance. So we have sellers dominate the market, push the price all the way down. So as price came back to this level, this is in 2025. Remember, this is 2022 and this is 2025. 3 years later, you can see that this zone still held, this particular price point still held, this particular supply zone still held. Sellers are still interested. Even as far back as 3 years ago, people still have that muscle memory. People still have the memory of what happened here and are interested in doing the same thing here. That's why technical analysis is key because it just pinpoints human behavior, what has happened in the past, with historical data for you to interact with new data. You can see how price interacted here and also price interacted here with this week around here. So you can see if you are a seller on this day, you could make bank. If you are a seller on this day, you could make bank because this place has served as a supply zone, a resistance zone, a supply area, whatever you want to call it, these are, it still means the same thing. These are sellers. This is a selling market. This is a buying market. Supply that just means sells. Demand means buys. When you find a price point, you can see if you go to the line chart, you can see it is very, very clear on the line chart. So supply just means a price point where we have more sellers taking off the balance between the buyers and sellers. So we have the imbalance in favor of the sellers. Price will fall short. If we go to the demand zone, price tap levels, making that place is demand zone is because we have buyers taking off the balance between sellers and buyers in that particular area. That place stands as a demand zone. Price continues to go upward. So this is how you find demand zones and supply zones. I can sit down here and map out 1001 demand and supply zones just by looking at it because I'm coming from experience. So if you go and practice and you practice, you can also do the same thing. It's no magic here. So these are all supply zones. You can see as price tap this level, price is coming down. These are all demand zones. I don't need to go to the line charts because I know what I'm doing, and also I've been here a long time. So basically, this is, you need the time and experience and practice. See, these are the supply zone. This is a demand zone. If I want to map out demand zones, I can find it. These are smaller demand zone. If you go this is a weekly. So if you go on the 4-hour time period, you can map out as much. You can sit down here and map as much. This is another demand zone. See, double tap, price continues to go up. So go home, practice and practice. Demand zones and supply zones, just remember, these are just where sellers and buyers are sitting. So to capitalize off there, you can find these zones, sit there. When price come back to those zones, you sell or you buy, and stay confident that the sellers and the buyers should be able to, help you push price as a retail seller or a retail buyer, because you don't have the capacity. So the banks will come in and take off price from those particular levels, and you'll be able to just swim with the sharks and make profits, basically. Yep, that calls this video short. I didn't want this video to be very long. That just makes supply and demand. I just broke it down to the easiest bits for you to understand. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel as we continue to grow this community together. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.